Hello, Community Muckluck here, and we've got the next sneak peek. Today, we are going to be seeing what the Guild Wars 2 Revenant is going to be getting with the Scepter. Today is Monday, November 13th. This news just came out today. I'll have the links to it down below, as always. Let's just jump right into it. Create otherworldly bonds when Revenants brandish scepters. Hello, Tyrians! My name is Chunhong Fung. If I mispronounced that, I did my very best, and I'm a game designer on the systems team here at ArenaNet. Expanded weapon proficiencies are coming in 2024 during the second major update for Guild Wars 2 Secrets of the Obscure, bringing in new weapon and skills for each profession. Today, we'll be looking at the new Scepter weapon of the Revenant profession, which you'll be able to test during the Expanded Weapon Proficiency Beta event, which starts on November 28th at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, which we've gone over this on the other sneak peeks, and I'm sure we will on the future ones as well, but that'll be like I believe a 5-day period of time where we get to log in and try out the upcoming weapon proficiencies. I almost said specializations, but that's the wrong word. Just like in the past, we got to do a beta weekend where we tried out the new elite specs from End of Dragons. So there's a video. I've got it opened in another tab. Let's check this out. The collapsing star stuff. Swirling mist around it. Well, now you're using it in melee. It's just a... What? Now it's a lightsaber. What in the goddamn... Is this the Knight Enchanter from Dragon Age Inquisition? Okay, so I was in the middle of saying, well, if you're just going to use it in melee range, it's not a scepter, it's a mace. And then a freaking giant energy blade came out of it. Yeah, just really quick to explain that reference. A Dragon Age Inquisition, fantastic game. There was a class you could play in it where if you were mage, you could sub-spec into a Knight Enchanter. You lost your range, but you basically made a giant lightsaber, energy blade, come out of your staff, and then you would just melee people. You would go, toe-to-toe with them. And then as you landed blows, you would generate barriers in front of you. Think like Scourge barriers. So yeah, this is interesting. I'm immediately thinking, if this is melee, the Revenants with their weapons, it's like the why can't you be normal? Then the girl just meme, because they use hammers as ranged weapons, and now they're using scepters as melee. Still hoping when Mesmer gets rifle, they just beat people over the head with it. Okay, don't cross the streams. Revenants wield scepters in an unorthodox way that is unique to their profession. Having observed the Cryptus in battle, they draw upon their ability to connect individuals together using the scepter as a conduit. They use this conduit to channel energies between targets, strengthening allies and debilitating enemies. Strengthening allies, so we're gonna get some boons? The Revenant's auto-attack chain projects a concentrated stream of energy from the tip of the scepter, which they wield like a blade to swing in a wide arc, damaging multiple enemies, which we just saw. The first attack is Serene Strike. It's a simple melee slice. The follow-up attack, I've never seen this world, Acerbic Cut, I'm gonna say Acerbic, will grant might to allies. I wonder if it's in an arc in front of them or if it'll just be radial around them, as far as the might generation, not the cut. Motivating Whirl is the third strike of the chain, which cleaves enemies in a 360-degree radius around the Revenant and applies Barrier. It applies Barrier. Okay, hold on a sec. So that's the swirl. Okay, so that's it. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. The second skill, Blossoming Aura, infuses an enemy target with energy from the mist, dealing damage over time. After delay, this energy explodes outward, damaging the enemy and granting barrier to allies. So 2 barrier skills. This effect can be strengthened by repeatedly striking the enemy with auto attacks, causing the final explosion to deal more damage and grant additional barrier to allies. While this skill can be cast at range, if you want to maximize the second effect, you need to get in your enemy's faces. I wonder, did we see that? That could have been it. So the 2 is a ranged thing that puts a dot on them. So they might have used that to pull this enemy. Okay. Let's see. Finally, Otherworldly Bond is an upkeep skill that creates a spiritual tether between you and your target. The tether has differing effects based on whether the target is an ally or an enemy. When used on an ally, the tether continually grants might to the target and allies around you. When an enemy is being tethered, the target will instead be inflicted with vulnerability and take additional strike damage from the Revenant. The tether can be manually broken with the accompanying follow-up skill Deactivate, and it will automatically break if the Revenant moves too far away. Like Blossoming Aura, attacking enemies will cause the effects of the tether to strengthen. But that's not all. When the tether reaches max strength, the Revenant gains a new follow-up skill called Otherworldly Attraction. The allied version allows the Revenant to shadow step to the tethered target, granting barrier to allies around them. When an enemy is targeted, it instead pulls the tethered target toward the Revenant while applying additional vulnerability to them. That's pretty neat. So we're seeing all three skills. We're not seeing the duration and the radius and stuff like that, but we're actually seeing all three skills. Like when we saw Staff Warrior, we only got to see read the details on 2 of the 5 skills. So the one is a chain that does damage, and then it does might, and then it does barrier. The 2 is a dot, and if you hit them, it builds up, and when it wears off, it detonates, granting barrier. And the 3 does a connection between you and an ally, which then makes you pulse might like crazy, or you and an enemy, which makes you do vuln to them and more damage. That's pretty cool, honestly, and I like the theme. I really do. I really do like the theme. Because, I've seen other games where there's like, spell blades or knight enchanters, you call it what you want to call it, but, stuff where someone used a magical weapon and used it to project a melee weapon out of it and then, just beat people over, beat someone over the head with it. So it's not the first time I've seen this, but it is new to the Revenant, and I think it's pretty cool. I think that's pretty clever. Until next time, that about wraps it up for today's preview. As mentioned above, you'll be able to try out all of the upcoming new weapon and profession combos during the expanded weapon proficiency beta event starting 9 a.m. Pacific time on November 28th and ending at 10 p.m. Pacific time on December 3rd. Please note that since this is a beta test, there will be placeholder UI art and audio assets for some of the weapon skills. Be sure to tune in to the expanded weapon proficiency preview livestream November 27th at noon Pacific time, UTC-8, to get a more in-depth look at all the new weapons. That's awesome. And just by the description, I could see this being useful for support Revenants and DPS Revenants. It could be useful for either one as long as the numbers are tuned correctly, which that's pretty neat. I like the idea of it. Once we see it in action, we'll get to see, if it lives up to that idea. Also not really related to this, but if you've got Prime Gaming, they've been giving out these little puppy dog minis on Guild Wars 2, and that's about to run out. So if you're interested in that, there's link to that on the side as well. But yeah, that's it. That's all we've got for today. If you got any questions, problems, thoughts, concerns, anything I've overlooked, put it in the comments down below. In other related news for those interested, on this Wednesday, November 15th, I'm going to be on stream basically the entire day on Twitch and this YouTube channel as well. If anyone would like to stop by, say hello, just hang out, maybe do some strikes and stuff together, I'm going to be streaming the entire day. We're celebrating 2,000 days streamed in a row. I'm going to have a bunch of giveaways, including legendaries, gem codes that ArenaNet gave me to give to you guys, stuff like that. So just plugging that really quick for anyone who's interested in hanging out. I'll be there from sun up to sundown. All right, with that, y'all have a great rest of your day, and hopefully be back tomorrow with the next sneak peek weapon preview.